Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. The kitties are either getting up or sleeping. Hi, baby. Hello. I got one of my kitties that just decided to wake up to the sound of my voice. Sorry, my baby. But we are here. I didn't plan on doing a video like this relating to this, but some news that I did not know about is kind of reshaping my opinion about why this film's even happening now. So for those who don't know, you probably do know, uh, we are getting a live action adaptation of Tangled. Now, Tangled is a film that came out back in like 2010. It's one of Disney proper, so it's not Pixar, it's not a division within their company. It's specifically Disney Animation, and they are developing a live action adaptation of that specific film. Now, uh, the history behind this is interesting, and once I lay out, kind of the new stuff, you'll kind of ask yourself, well, what the hell? Why are we even doing this anymore? So this goes back to last year, and we talked about Tangled last year on one of my news roundups, where the film was actually canceled. And the reason for the cancellation was actually a result of the box office performance of Snow White, which was a quite the disaster for Disney. Um, and also, I think another film also in that sphere, live action adaptations, also had gotten the boot. Fast forward a few months later into, I think it was like October or something like that, and Scarlett Johansson actually showed interest for making this film. And in that, Disney saw some sort of validation to revive that project, and Scarlett Johansson was now on board to play the villain of the film. I don't think she was involved as a producer or anything like that. I was thinking just strictly that of acting. Um, But that was what gave life back to the film, and that kept move forward in that direction. And at the time, Lilo and Stitch had just came out and became the highest-grossing film of the summer, and off to be one of the highest-grossing films of last year, which isn't really saying much when you consider last year's box office and just generally for the year. But eventually, Scarlett Johansson had dropped out. She dropped out because she was committed to like a bunch of projects that are coming out. She's going to be the lead in the Exorcist reboot. She has a role in the Batman Part Two, which we'll be discussing the Batman Part Two in a video or so because I have some issues regarding or some concerns for that project. Um, but now we have the cast. We have the two leads, which are just TV actors, so not like notable names and stuff like that. So it makes me wonder at this point, what is the motivation for doing this movie? Because the original rationale for doing this movie was, well, uh, we want to capitalize off of uh, other productions that are generating certain kinds of money and adapting certain work. So let's try to do that with one of our own movies. And Snow White comes out, performs the way it does, and it completely sends a kind of a shockwave effect, within that sort of sphere of decisions. And Tangled was one of the movies that got the boot because they were not confident that this would generate money. Okay. So then someone like Scarlett Johansson comes on board that promises to be a part of the movie, or at least is in consideration to participate in the movie. And because of a notable name like that, Disney decided to revitalize the movie. Now that aspect is no longer there. So Scarlett Johansson is, she's not going to participate in the movie. So it makes me wonder, what is the motivation now? What is the motivation to make this film? And probably people will say, well, it's probably because of Lilo and Stitch, because of that going off to do $1 billion. But is that really a good rationale for doing this film? Especially because now there isn't a headliner. Obviously, they're going to find some notable name to utilize in the press. Same way they do with Snow White. Rachel Ziegler is not really the selling point as much as someone like Gal Gadot and just the name Snow White itself. So they're going to find somebody to be in the background to supply some sort of interest. But it just seems weird to me that the original version for canceling it, or the original reason for canceling it, was because we had no confidence that the movie is going to do well, because we don't think that is a notable IP. To then having Scarlett Johansson participate, to then revitalizing it, to then her dropping from the project, and now having these actors on board that are not notable names, and going by the hope that this film will generate interest based on what it is, even though your initial idea or reasoning behind canceling the film to begin with was strictly that, and also based off of the box office of Snow White, giving such reason to your claim, saying, oh, we're not confident that this is going to really resonate with people because something like Snow White comes out and does what it does. We have to really, really be careful as to what we adapt so that we can go off and do $1 billion like Lilo and Stitch did. That's what I thought the rationale was, but now it seems that they're looking at Lilo and Stitch and going, did $1 billion? Great, let's just move forward with Tangled then. So then it makes me ask, well, why not bring back the other film that you canceled then? Why not bring back the film that, I forget what it was, but it was another film that they had in development, which rightfully so also got canceled. So I would say, why not bring that back? Better yet, why is this film even existing as it stands right now? Because there is no solid reason for it to even exist, as I just laid out, you know? So it's just weird. It's just weird for this movie to even exist right now. And I think that I seriously doubt that it's going to resonate. I don't think that the original film was even that popular. I could be wrong. But it just seems odd that you go through canceling it and then bringing it back because someone specific came on board, to then losing that person, and now you're still developing it for what specific reason? It can't be for what you said originally, because you that's the reason why of which you canceled it. Saying that, oh, we're confident this sort of thing will resonate with audiences. That's not true, because you said originally when you canceled it that specific reason, resonating with audiences, you believe that didn't translate to a film like Tangled, which is why you canceled it. And Snow White doing what it did, validating that rationale. It's just to say that they had a certain feeling, but now they're like trying to scramble. They're trying to like look for that reason to keep this afloat. Um, and I seriously don't know what it is. So So maybe if you guys can explain it to me, because as far as I can tell anyway, it just seems like either they're too invested into it and they just have to move forward, um, or maybe they're hoping that, hey, someone like Scarlett Johansson was willing to participate. Who's to say that we'll get someone else involved in this project and Lilo and Stitch doing what it did? Like, there seems to be a lot of blind optimism, as far as I can tell, when it comes to this little production. It's going to be like hundreds of millions of dollars. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm also wrong with the popularity of the specific film, but I just don't see this film going off and doing a certain number. But you guys let me know. Do you guys feel that I'm kind of overthinking it? Do you guys think I'm being a little bit too critical? And do you guys think that this film has legs? Let me know. Let me know all your thoughts relating to this topic in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.